Hey salon owners, how many of you have ever been told by a business coach or been to a class and they tell you raise your prices? Well, I want to tell you that raising your prices is not a business strategy. Strategically raising your prices is. Now, any business coach can come in and say, oh, well, just raise your prices and that's going to increase your sales. But have you ever walked by one of those, not going to mention any names, but one of those high-end salons with big names and big price tags, and there's not one single soul in their business? Well, that's what happens when you raise your prices and it's not done strategically. So what are the times when you should raise your prices? There's only 2 times that you should raise your prices, and that is one for inflation. So that happens once a year. You just Google your inflation rate and add on a little bit extra just to cover, and then do a salon-wide price increase, just a little tiny one. And then the second time to do a price increase is supply and demand. So it's going to look a little different for each one of you depending on your goals. And so if your goals is to be completely booked solid, have everybody really busy, then you might pick like 90% productivity. And every 3 months you reevaluate. If you keep hitting 90% productivity, you keep raising your prices. One of my stylists, Jessie, she was at 110% productivity. So what does that mean? It means that she's constantly working late, getting home to her partner late, missing her sporting events, and just being plain old tired. Well, we had to raise her price every 3 months, and her clients wouldn't budge. So she was like 100%, 10% productive, 107%, 103%. Finally, we got to about 95%, and we held there. So you want to have a strategy. If you want a little bit more free time because you want to be able to do before and afters, you want to work on your social media, you don't necessarily want to be booked like 100% of the time. So you might raise your prices every time you hit 75% or 80%. Depending on how full you want your chair. And this is something you can look at every 3 months until you've kind of stabilized. So that's a great way to just keep bumping it up, keep making sure that you establish your value. And we've got a lot more tools on this topic. So if this is interesting for you, message me, tag me, and we've got other scripts for how to do this. We've got other ideas for how to get demand and how to reach that productivity so that you can raise your prices. But if someone tells you just raise your prices without looking at why, it's probably not a good strategy for you. Some just might not be ready. And if you're not ready to raise your price, it means you're in the build demand phase. So that's what you want to be focusing on, is how to get more people in your seat so that you're more popular, you're more wanted, and you're more in demand. And then you're going to be able to start to increase your value. So hope that helps. And yeah, tell me what you think below.